Okay, let's get a quick video in, only because I have been slacking on the video content, but let's go into this. So let's go into DDR users and non. So DDR users are people who direct your physical movement based off arrow movements based off the arrows in DDR, and they are labeled DDR users. And they are really the exact opposite of air scrapers. What happens is you look at them, and on their side of the fields, they control where your body goes with the direction of the arrows. Do telekinesis and through the arrows of Dance Dance Evolutions, we have DDR users and nons. Now, this isn't just a nons update. This is something we have to heavily incorporate. So, DDR users will make their appearance in the DG Beyblade. The reason why they're not on Bayside is because they're also a part of the dance aspect of Nons. Every single dance user is based off of actual dance in real life. Like Tito's Tech Cannon is based off Tiny in real life. B-Boy is a former breakdance in real life. And the DDR users are specifically hologram footwork users. They're air scrapers and air gliders, so there's a whole lot of dance going on in Nons, and anything but disco, anything like even gonna be like a non special with classical music, anything but disco. There's also going to be a guy named Tetris. Tetris is actually based off a regional guy who I learned through Kevin Tran. Kevin Tran is also turf dancer that I met in high school. Actually, I met him in the summer school transitioning into high school, and he said that the best turfer in the Bay Area was Tetris. They were all part of the Filipino turfing gang, and it's really, really, really out. So we also have, little stuff like Sora based off a deck I made in Yu-Gi-Oh! Cyrus and Sora from Arc 5. Sora is going to be, a pretty decent character if you ask me. We do have a slight issue for the pandemic. It has nothing to do with, Lily, the recent movie that just dropped, which is really hot, by the way. It's an alright movie, so if you haven't seen My Hero Academia, World's Mission, I highly recommend it. There is a sneak peek of still frames and nods of World's Mission. So if you want to know, like with Skittles were all, the Kami High students, then there's a skill frame of literally one of the Kami High students, what they look like in the new My Hero movie. And it was okay, I really, really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I knew it was at a time. It was perfect for me, but if you like cringe, I'll recommend that movie. I really don't. But if it's really, really better for me personally than Heroes Rising because it was consistent and throughout the whole movie. And Todoroki, he did what he always does, but he did 10 maximum this time. Even though he was only there for bits and pieces, he tore shit up when he was on screen. So, as far as Demon Slayer, if you want to know a little trick about writing, the cover of the guy at the end of the Mugen Train movie, the guy with the crystals as braids and shit, he kind of looks like Boomer, doesn't he? Yeah, that's original. That's called the laws of the universe. Literally, those strains on his head just represent, the fact that they're gemstones too. You have to understand, like, freaking, it's in all of us. It has nothing to do with Drake. He wasn't even thinking about Africans, like Americans, for a second. The creator of Demon Slayer, all he was thinking about how do I make an exterior? Because I thought the same way. That's a fun fact about anime. Sometimes, and that's not intentional writing again. It's pretty cool. But the issue with the pandemic is literally, I haven't clicked on any of the One Piece bait recently. Like, I heard that Wano was kicking back in. I didn't click on any bait because it already lost me. I'm not lost in their series, but I'm too lost in the episodes. Like, literally, I stopped watching after, like at least, a couple of months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago, I stopped watching One Piece. I stopped being up to date with the anime. But this literally, what's going on is literally freaking, the dark game community is really laying low, and some have, slight betrayals. Oh my god, Conan his ex door, but no. It's really, 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 really isn't like, something to be really slept on, because what's happening at the moment is, nerds are getting their little tribes, like literally people are getting their little gangs together just to like prepare for the bridge. There's always gonna be trolls under the bridge, so like that's not my issue, but it does where it comes to this. So what if I told you that there's this thing called scam mail, and scam mail is literally freaking when these internet cyber dreams are going all out, just trying to like invade my personal space, not just my space, everybody else's personal space lately. It has been stalking me and my girls for like a long time. My girls had to get Airbnb, and literally they would stalk them, and literally freaking they would have to move to another Airbnb, and they were freaking dumb. Like literally, fooling gang members isn't really anything new. Girls have been doing it for a long time, but doing it where efficiency with knowledge of the person is really, really difficult. And just to literally cram a little bit more science into you, like literally, I have skipped this season of Atypical. I haven't seen it yet, but good news, Teenage Bounty Hunters is getting a second season, so that's pretty good with me. Dr. Stone season 3 looks pretty promising. So if you look at Moods Entertainment, streak right now, it's pretty solid. But on Netflix, go watch Gunslinger Girl. It's based off a song I made, based off a freestyle I did. So as far as mood content, it's pretty alright. Okay, shitty anime community. I have to literally make this partially unprofessional in order for you guys to understand that this shit is professional. You cannot fuck with this anymore. So what's this whole thing I'm getting for information that you keep on harassing people that are in power and that are in charge in order to get your little way with your cringe? I've had several people from the anime community harass Geekdom for literally the stupidest thing, trying to literally fool Geekdom's perspective in order to Geekdom to feel sorry for them, in order for them to get away with their little cringe. Listen, buddy, we created a world where Geekdom doesn't have to mention my name in a video in order for people to know that I work with him. So, in order for you to literally get in check, I'm making this video, let you know you can't get away with this forever, and you won't. And let me tell you what happens to people who do. In detail. So you won't have your fantasies, so you won't go to a rack party and cling on to when you could have gone to a party where people cosplaying, people just enjoying discussions about videos they watch versus people pretending to be something they're not in fucking parties. Sorry, buddy, but this is the truth. Let me tell you the reason why you guys have this platform and why you guys do cling on to it. It wasn't made to cling on to it. What there was a dark internet before. The dark internet literally allowed nerds to get away with you and nerds sit forever as long as they stay low key. What happened was a nerd would hook up her OG, a nerd would learn how to rape, a nerd would learn how to do a whole lot, and they would be able to lay low, go home to their fucking gang, literally watch their princess cartoons and pretend like they never gonna grow up and shit like that, literally. But then we give them the perspective that there's no point in shit like that, literally, in order for them to keep having that mindset. A whole lot of people got a way of doing that over time, but they stay low key and they weren't a part of society. Alright, fair enough. Alright, well, people don't know what hurt them. Alright, I agree with that wholesomely because I know God. I'm like, okay, well, if that girl got raped, then literally freaking she kept on playing guys over and over again, kept on playing hard to get, kept on teasing people with her body, she finally got what she got. And Lily, sorry, like Lily, he got away with that for a reason. God is always there, and I'm trying to let you know. The way things got is because you want things to be self-explanatory, where we suffered from things being self-explanatory because we have the dark internet. Well, how could we really suffer from that? So what happens when a nerd that's built off cringe wants to learn how to rape and go to the dark internet, but he don't want to learn how to rape physically, but they want how learn how to rape situations, like they want to make somebody submit, like they want to like literally make his environment so fucking controlling to a point where he'll finally fucking join the anime community and read manga all day instead of making AMVs that make him feel happy because the music isn't good. That's where we have this clusterfuck. Understand that Lily, that person who dropped out of the internet because he couldn't get his way, first of all, he had more legitimate reasons. Like Lily, he saw guys doing sports, Lily, getting jobs, doing whatever it takes to get girls, and girls were falling for gangster's charisma. That was what's going on. Anybody who's 30 or 35 right now, that is what happened growing up with Lily. 35, Lily, slowly turning 40. The real Slim Shady generation, Lily, fucking, the ones who are Lily, are dotes from the real Slim Shady. It depends. If you were a teenager and the real Slim Shady came out, that means you don't know too much about this world, but you have a pretty good view on it because, Lily, we grew up on educational rap that forced us to think and shit like that. And Lily, what we're trying to do, what they try to do that failed is they're trying to convince little kids that Lily, rappers are just exactly how they are on TV. Well, no, we see rape happening in school. We see gangs in school. We actually know the complexity of growing up and shit like that. That Lily, rappers are who they are on TV and shit like that. But then we gave the internet. They gave you multiple opinions. Like, yo, I can listen to rap music, but not live the lifestyle. That is not a contradiction because Lily, that's in that terms, then rap becomes pop. Rap is no longer soon to being a purpose of rap, but you can use it for that because you are an adult and you can take things multiple ways. But what gangs do is they literally like, oh, you're listening to rap, you might as well join a fucking gang. That's literally how stupid, that's the category that they think in. You can never just look at rap as just a form of music and literally looking at everything else that life has to offer. I grew up on everything else that life has to offer, and my brother and people that are 30 right now, literally, they looked at that and they looked at what was going on in school and they're like, man, this is shit. But maybe they just looked at that on the outside. They saw bits and pieces of me watching. Like, how is Eris content watching shit knowing there's fucking crazy shit going on in the world? So that maybe if they actually stuck and watched it for like fucking hour like me, they would see everything that's good about it. It's silly. Just skim past the part that they want. Like my brother, I took them to go see Sky High one time. Like Helen was getting tired of Lily, my older brothers Damon and Barbara are trying too hard to fit in, and so Lily, they started watching Sky High. Sky High is a Disney movie where kids literally go through teenage struggles and have superpowers, and it's really, really a beautiful movie, and they have hella fucking fun. They're like, dude, this is just like watching Dragon Ball Z or Eris. Like Lily, it's that perspective is why the media put me on. Lily, you're trying too hard to be gangster, this and that. And it wasn't the fact that it was anime, it was the fact that they were doing real shit. They were having you think about the character's emotion. This guy's a school shooter in school, and he literally He has an explosive power, an emotional teenager that's a super. Alright, good Nons update. So let's go into this. So let's go into the new aspects of Nons. So this is just a checkup on Nons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce like a few characters, and then I'm gonna introduce like literally maybe a highlight character like later on. So what I'm doing is like literally I'm checking in and I'm recapping on everything that's new on Nons. So this is everything that's new. That's not a new release, but we're covering all the information so far of the new content. Like we're covering the weekly basis. So like this is all about it's not about Goshen and Peach. It's about like the last 3 characters I post. So like. Let's put it like this. I don't have the motivation to do Mika's video and stuff like that, but I can do gameplay, and that's what really fucking sucks. I can always like literally do gameplay to represent a character, but I really enjoy it. I can't make a Yumi Neji video like that if really I don't have the motivation to it. You get what I'm saying? Like this is really out. So like I can't speak on the really heavy characters I made designs for, but I can give you a quick summary of the plot that I have around for this thing and none. So here's the thing. So I've been thinking about it lately. I've been thinking about how am I going to execute these movies like a little bit better. So what I've been thinking about is I've been thinking about layering the substance before I did a character, because you know that big ass grace for your life. I did that shit literally where I was high as fuck. But I'm already an entertainer. Like I made that video where I was high, but I made it like literally when I knew I can kill shit. But I already know I entertain, so what I did was I got high. I wear a Shroom Trooper. I got lost and shit. But I have to do that when I'm motivated for something. So you get a video like that if you treat me right. Is what I'm saying. Right now I'm going to a quick case of bronchitis, and literally I'm alright. Like it's not that, it's just that I smoked my first ounce. I never really get money for weed. It was some low grade weed too. it was some good, but like literally, I don't encourage you like literally to do any of that. I'm anti-drugs. What this is literally I'm Snoop Dogg. I'm making them like I make them with foundation, but literally I'm Snoop Dogg. Let's say the league freezer is code. Yeah, so like if you want to know, that's where I get that aspect from. But I've lived a Justin life before. The Justin life is really out there. I'm like, oh my god, like literally. So it was insane. So what happened was this. There are shift-changing arc in Nons. You know what Kimigawa is? There are characters in Nons that really intertwine people together where it comes to a specific storyline. Like Kimigawa can be its own arc, but it's not. But what I have to do is I have to think like the movie in order to make the arc. It's complicated. And so what happened was this. So like Kimigawa is a shift changer in Nons. So you know the Kimigawa special. What he is he introduces a new aspect of Nons. Like, you know how gingivitis, how you know shit's gonna level up when you see gingivitis, how you know you're gonna see the real characters in action, how you know Stangelica and all them are gonna be there based off how you view gingivitis. Literally, this is what Kimigawa is. So like Kimigawa is like a shift changer for Nons in general. I have no idea for our arc, but she is canon. But the movie plays out like this. She introduces LMAO. She introduces all this other shit that's going on. Like, she introduces like the new aspects each and every time. So that way, she's a focal point of why we have to introduce these users, because she's a psychedelic user. So what I can do now is I can use her aspect. It says Kimi grows up on the internet. I can make meme users, and I can make the aesthetics be a part. I can make the aesthetics of like Janemba shit and stuff like that. I was thinking that before, but I didn't know how to make a structure. Like I thought that out nowhere. Hey, I'm just gonna make sure like so you already know it's anime, but like no, I want a shit anime. I want it to be there because two together. Because what made Akira Toriyama so great, and literally what made it wasn't the food puns, and that's not the approach I was taking. But what made Akira Toriyama so great is that he was heavily layered as a person before he thought about anything. So like literally. When he was complex, so like when he thought about like Android 16, he just didn't think about the reference. He thought about what a lot of shit at the time. He's a complex man with a complex life. So like, why would Lily, like why is he based off Lily the Terminator, but he's so calm, cool, and collect and loving? You get what I'm saying? That is a real character. Like he has something he's based off of, but Lily, I can't even tell until like you really live life. So what I'm doing is, Kimigawa has a special because I layered her like that. But at the same time, like Lily, she is the only legitimate reason we can have meme users and Nons. And we have to like Lily. If you like Kumagawa, there's gonna be another Kumagawa character that's based on Kumagawa and Asagiri again. another psychedelic user. I don't know if he's gonna be canon. He can be canon, but he's gonna. I think he's gonna pay place at DD Day. But what he is like literally, this guy is like half an II. This guy learned how to do what II did, but in a gruesome way. So what this guy is, he's like he took Gingivitis' mentality and he applied it to II's ability. So what he does is like literally he controls shit psychedelic, like he like II, because what II is based off Sosuke Eisen, and II created this platform called the Internet Sky. Do you get what I'm saying? And so he's the reason why we have the Disney Beyblade universe. So Aizen is a god in my manga, and so the reason why Vegasus is a god is because he created his own brand. Gingivitis is a god is because he mastered like R&B. Not R&B. It's not R&B, but it's folk music. But it plays out like R&B. It gets you depressed. What he is he's Luther Vandross listening to the same CD, not wanting a girl, but like literally he lives his life. He lives his life like literally inside, literally just listening to like music that makes him insane. But that same music is how he's able to calculate shit. It's crazy. What Vegasus does is Vegasus literally he plans out something and he makes you live out something. What he is, he's a scary version of Pegasus. So you think that this is like you think he's inspirational, like he is, but he has a scary aspect to him. What Vegasus is he's somebody who created a game, and specifically in order to fuck with people. Like you know how Pegasus created a game because it had a skill. This guy created like a jutsu. What he did was he created a skill that can have an Imagashi element. So what he does is he's the reason why we have Yushomaru Sugio. He's the reason. So what Sugio's ability is trapped in play. He's the one who gives him the ability to trap you into play, because when you face him, you're automatically as trapped. So what he does is he can't like summon cards. For what he does is he puts elements in a situation. So what he does is he adds a jutsu and he puts it to a situation, and that's how he created Sugio. So the reason why he created Sugio is because I play it like a play. You know how you imagine Pegasus literally up in the tower, literally contemplating himself. What he's doing is he's creating a play in his mind. He's not a stage performer, but he has stage performer elements. What he is Vegasus is a director. He's a sick fucking man. That's why he's based off Las Vegas. He's based off the sick, literally fucking Christian meaning of Las Vegas, but he's based off Pegasus. So what he is he's a gambler that doesn't gamble. So it's fucking insane. So what he does is he lives his sick fucking tricks and stuff like that. Like literally, what he does is when he gets you, he doesn't trap you in an illusion. He traps you in an illusion jutsu that has realistic elements. Like, you know how Yushomaru could trap you in a play? What he could do is he could trap you in a field spell, and he could summon a fucking Ferris wheel. So what he does, he's hella fucking powerful, because what he does is he's a man denial, but he's a man denial knowing that literally there's no competition. He's in denial that there's competition, so he pretends there's competition. So what he does is he fucks you as soon as he sees you. He'll trap you in a fucking spell, knowing that he's stronger, just to literally get a kick out of you, and then he'll go back to his fucking tower and like literally watch another fucking show and do shit like that. Vegas is a very fucking sad man, but he's not sad at all. He's sad because he knows the world is sad, and he takes advantage of it. And he's a very, very fucking, he's not manipulative. What he is literally, if you fuck with him, then he'll manipulate the situation. But if you don't, he'll just fucking have fun and shit like that. But if he has interest to do something, let's see if we can do this. So what if Zofio took Vegasus's ambition and took Gingivitis' literally view on the world, and he got to, Vegasus, because you have it so easy, you don't have the right to compete. What if I told you that I can give you something to compete with, because you don't care if you will or die, you're living life for our purpose? What if I can give your perfect life the purpose? You're content doing anything, right? You're content and nothing ticks you off, right? So what if I can give you the thrill if something could tick you off and keep on challenging you over and over again, but literally it doesn't run away, it keeps on challenging you? Because what people do is they fight Vegasus and they go to a federation. I'm like, I'm so scared. What he did was he showed me he could easily beat me. But what he did was he summoned a card, and he trapped me in a card. I ended up in a fucking carnival. Like, what happens is how you introduce to Vegasus is Vegasus fights Tofu. I want you to go spy on Vegasus. So Vegasus fights Tofu, and Tofu really goes up to Vegasus, and she's used to be like a rock user, a rock stomp. Like, I can break rock and like literally this snap, but I can also like do other shit. Like literally, I can't see do genjutsu, but literally what Tofu does is like what her ability is she comes from the village where Juboxy lives. So what her village specializes is they specialize in elements and ninjas. So like what they are is they have to understand that they have to have a martial arts base, but they understand they have to choose an element. So what they do is like Penny Chara, she chose wind and like and water, because she knows she can't have water like without wind because of her ability. And you know what Jukebox is? Jukebox, he doesn't use lightning. He uses bits and pieces of lightning, but his main element is like, you know, like earth and fire. You get what I'm saying? Like earth, fire, or wind. He's also wind. Yeah, I guess he's wind. Thank you, Geek. But yeah. But Jukebox is weird. So what it is like they're avatar people that fuse with ninjas and stuff like that. That's their concept. And so what Tofu does is she's Toph fused with Fu. So she like Lily, she's strong like Fu, but she's not blind like Toph. But she has blind aspects to her. And so she's the exact opposite of Vegas. So when Vegas is fucks with her, she's not blind, but she's partially blind. Like she has dim-witted vision. She can see you. That's why she has some boys who she goes goo goo gaga over. But Lily, she ends up losing her step over. It's like Lily, she's a clumsy fighter, but she's really, really strong. And super fucking strategic and super fucking skilled. Like she's equal to Yumi Neji and everything, but Yumi Neji will fucking like edge her out because of attitude. Because what Yumi Neji does is like she understands the fight too much, but Tofu will make her go to each and every crank. You know what? I'm gonna hit you a solid straight kick because you keep on pounding each and every. Because Yumi Neji is air and Tofu is pound. So what Tofu is trying to do is he's trying to apply pound to all of Vegas's trips and traps. So she's hopping over the fucking Ferris wheel and shit like that. She's hopping this and that. He's throwing whips and shit, and she's throwing rocks at him and shit. She's trying to hit him with the mega punch and shit. Like, guess what happened? When I tried to punch him, there was a dummy. What he did was he told me he could easily beat me, but he wanted to see what I was going to do. And he just played off what I was going to do, and he had fun with me the entire fucking time. And then he's like, time's up. I'm like, what? He's like, I have no wish to fight you. I am evil, but I only accept challenges for people who are worth it. You are more than intelligent, my dear. Well, thanks for a compliment, but I kinda came to kick your ass. Meme energy doesn't work on me. Enough for their illusions. Lily. Hold up. I said something strange about Lily, the way you're folding your hyphy juice. Could this energy be similar to Sugio's? Ah, foolish little girl. You've been quite a delight. Little do you know, I am the one who created Sugio. That's crazy. Sugio is super fucking strong. You can't be the creator of Sugio, because Sugio doesn't cover Imagashi. You don't know where Imagashi is. So what Ai is Ai is a guy who recognized that they were wrong. So what he is Lily. Ai isn't stronger than Vegas's and, you know, Gingivitis, but he is. What he is if he tries to fight them, he understands that he's wasting his time. So what Ai is he's a god complex. So what Ai did is he made the fight between like good and evil more interesting by adding an element, and that's how we have the meme users. And you know who Ai is based off of? Do your personal research, because I'm waiting for 107 facts of nons.